This is called Odele's Bath, and it's about the mother of a protagonist in a novel I recently completed called The Black Dot Museum of Political Art. And this section out of the novel takes place in about 1923 on a potato farm in New Brunswick.
Iron clawfoot tub raised up on bricks to make room for the fire beneath it. After supper, the baptism began with Odele's father climbing in first to soak for the better part of an hour. After which, when her mother was alive, she'd be next, but she tended to make it quick. After her, the boys, one at a time, and finally it was Odele's turn. Frequently she had to chop more kindling to stoke the fire and wait until the water warmed up again. She pulled the sash of her pink chenille bathrobe tighter and swung the axe more accurately than either of her brothers, splitting wood like she was slicing bread. Truly alone, she sat on her thinking rock, poking embers, vowing one day she'd take baths twice as long as her father's and soak in bubbles until the cows came home. And when she had a child, she'd spoil it. It could eat cake all day long for all she cared. Odele shifted the wood with a twisted iron rod so familiar in her right hand that it was invisible to her. All week long the iron rod hung beside the leather strap in the shed next to the soap until bath night, when individually they held it like a medieval weapon, jabbing it into the heart of the fire as heat flushed their faces, and alone they allowed themselves to imagine episodes of liberation and even retribution as they prepared to bathe their scrawny hillbilly bodies in the murky water beside an unnamed stone on which the soap sat. Unnamed by everyone except Odele. It was her thinking rock, although she never said it out loud to anyone except herself. It was here that the term run through with it all, played over and over in her head, and she blamed the rock for making her think it. This was what happened when she sat on her thinking rock. It made her think awful things about her father. She blamed the rock for putting things into her head, and she thought it best to say them, to let them out, rather than save them in her head, fearing that she might blurt out, run through with it all, instead of please pass the potatoes at dinner. Odele kept a small bottle of bubble bath in the pocket of her chenille robe. As she dribbled it across the dirty water, she repeated her chant, run through with an all. Naked, 1 foot on her thinking rock, she used the soot-blackened poker to agitate the water, to make the bubbles, and she laughed at how she must look, the real Odele, and she added to her chant, if all eyes were on me now, if all eyes were on me now. The saving grace of her otherwise woefully lacking existence was that her father was not a man of God, and and like her schoolmates traipsing off to church, Sundays were her own. Not to run through fields of buttercups, but to catch up on her chores. Odele sometimes found herself glancing skyward while she squeezed dirty water out of a mop, thanking God that her father was not religious, thus cracking herself up enough that she twigged onto how humor worked. It split apart the dark tendrils, tightening in her gut and around her heart, soothing her like a slug of moonshine. But laughter didn't burn or make her cough. Odele tried to find external sources to make herself laugh, to reduce the internal grumbling in which she knew was not her soul. Nor was she hungry, unless what she felt could be called a hunger to express herself. If she laughed or cried, her father got angry. He was a man who was staunchly confused about most things, but in his role as the head of the household, he felt compelled to have strong opinions. Anger was the only emotion he let his family see. He pontificated wildly, putting on a show, combining nuances of opposing stances, all bluster. Odele tried to follow his logic, but when she was 9, she heard the word irrational, uttered by her mother while they were going through the remnant bin at Hester's dry goods store. Irrational, she made the word her own. By the time she left the farm at 16, Odele had eaten enough green beans to last her a lifetime. Emancipation from what she regarded as emotional tyranny came by way of the SMT Eastern bus line and her overwhelming determination to never again eat anything green. Never eat anything green.
Thank you.